and the Falcons end up tri-champ, all three champs, if you will, 8-9. But the Falcon result and the win means that Carolina Panthers at 8-9. They are the team that will get a home game as the number 4 seed and move on to the playoffs. And clearly, Booger, I think this is all to the Dave Canales and the Panthers' credit. They arrived a year early, and oh, by the way, by accident, they're in the playoffs. I don't mean by accident, they've earned it.
No doubt. At the beginning of the season, nobody thought that the Carolina Panthers were going to win the South. But they did it, and they're a year ahead of time. And boom, now that they're in, they're going to host a playoff game. A game at home where they've already beaten the Los Angeles Rams at their house once this year already. They're not perfect, but they have a formula that's got them to this point. They can run the football. They got two backs, Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. The offensive line is pretty good. Defensively, they got a really good secondary. It all depends on the young quarterback. Can they create some big plays with Teddy McMillan down the field? But boom, make no mistake about it. They earned their way into the postseason by how they played this year and the fact that they are way ahead of schedule winning the NFC South.
Congrats to them. And listen, just an aside, because I feel very strongly about it, as you're about to hear. A losing record, they should win the division, but they shouldn't have a home game. Baloney. All right, if you win the division, in my opinion, you should host the game as a number 4 seed and keep alive a chance to advance and maybe host a championship game. Because I'll tell you why. If the teams that are 12-5, well, we should be at home instead of 8-9. If you're not good enough to go in there and beat an 8-9 team, you aren't going anywhere anyway. That was the Marshawn Lynch Beastquake game. The Saints were defending champs. It's a game we still talk about. Don't change it. The league is talking about changing it. Don't change it. The Tampa Bay Bucs, they'd like to change. There go the pen. That's what they like to change. They were 6-2.
Yeah.
They ended up 2-7. Yeah. Couldn't they go 3-6 and win the division?
They could have, Boom. And any time you have a team that starts like that and finishes 2-7, there's a lot of factors that are at fault. The special teams were horrible, as we talked about all season long. The quarterback didn't play as well. Defensively, they have no pass rush. But I think there's a bigger picture. Todd Bowles. I don't think he's going to get fired. I think the Glazer family is going to stick with him. But they're going to have to make changes both on the staff and in personnel. I just think that they got to get better pressure on the quarterback to alleviate some of the pressure on the secondary, and the quarterback's got to be more consistent and healthy. You never know how that's going to play out, but overall, I do think that they have to figure out some consistency on defense.
Yeah, and there's some big-name players that we don't know where they're going to be, and the special teams, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But they have no one to blame but themselves. You know, halfway through, they look like Super Bowl contenders down there. Florida's first coast, and so the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have won 8 in a row. They win the division, supplanting Houston with a 13-4 record. And Trevor Lawrence, you don't think the Jags are having fun? Diamond Grill's locker room was a blast.
I got a grill, so I didn't wear it up here, but yeah. There's some like pictures going around for the last month or so with me, like AI picture with a grill on, and so it's pretty funny. And then, you know, people have been asking me when I'm going to get one. I'm like, don't plan on getting one, but they got me one. So I think there was some guys from the team, and then some. I think somehow my wife might have been involved in that, getting my teeth measurements or something because it fit. So something's going on there, but pretty funny. It's just been awesome this year with the team and just how close we are. I think that's, you know, really a fun part of it.
Very inside information. Teeth size. I don't know
I don't even know where they got that from.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, no question.
Hey, look, what's going on in Jacksonville? We've told you the defensive stats.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence, yet another year of a new offensive system, but it has unleashed him. Again, maybe experience in the league some. He's playing with, okay, my read isn't necessarily there. Don't necessarily take off out of fear. Maybe you can take, I don't know, he's playing like the guy that was drafted number 1 overall a few years ago from Clemson.
You know, Boom, sometimes you go to these escape rooms, and inside the escape room, there's only one way. It looks like there's a number of ways, but there's only one way to get out. And when you find that way out, you're like, oh, how come I didn't get here sooner? It looks like Trevor Lawrence has found his way out, and that way is Liam Cohen. because Liam, he's shown so much promise. But for the first time now, to me, he's playing faster. He's playing free. Liam Cohen has given him the opportunity to show the generational talent that we all thought he had when he came out of Clemson. They can run the football. The defense is really good. But don't tell me coaching doesn't matter, because here's a kid that was kind of on the fence whether or not he was a franchise quarterback.
Right.
Now you bring in the right coach. Not only are we not saying that he's not a franchise quarterback, we're talking about how far they can go in the postseason because of the quarterback. To me, that's special. He's had a really good season, and now he gets an opportunity in the tournament to see what he's made of.
Well, and expand a little on it, that you're saying the first read isn't there. He's not hyperventilating.
Yes.
Right? He's playing with confidence.
Yes.
I don't mean cockiness in a bad way, but I got to go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're seeing the results. Meanwhile, Houston, they've won 9 in a row. Talk about two teams flying into the playoffs. It would be these AFC South teams in a wide open AFC, and we'll do a larger picture in a minute. Their defense speaks for itself. Stroud has played playoff games, so he's played better year 3 than year 1, than last year, I should say.
Yes.
But that defense is portable, and even though they're a 5 seed, they don't worry about playing in bad weather, I wouldn't think.
They don't. They have one thing that travels and it can go anywhere. It doesn't matter the weather. That's the defense. They can rush the passer. The key for them will be how much pressure can they get off the quarterback's shoulders, because he's got to do a lot right now because they can't run the football. The defense is going to keep him in every game, but being in the game is not just enough. Can they win these games? It's going to come down to the quarterback and his play.
There, Myles Garrett, congratulations to you. And the Browns close up by beating Pittsburgh and beating the Cincinnati Bengals. And just in case you're scoring at home, there it is. Congratulations to Myles Garrett, beating the record of T.J. Watt Steelers. And, of course, Oliver Michael Stahan, Hall of Fame, 22.5 New York Football Giants. Here's the new record holder.
I think I said it earlier about how to dream and I didn't get it. So I was like we gotta deny fate, whatever it is. We gotta make it happen. Find your dreams come true. Been waiting on this my whole life, my whole football career. So I knew I had it in me, and damn, I wanted that 25. But they made it real difficult these last 2 games, especially. But really these last 3. So. That'll be the next journey. They're trying to go out there and get 25.
I mean, I'm going to say the obvious here. It's not amazing that a guy that used to hit 18 homers now hits 65 in Myles Garrett's case. Yeah. He does this every year.
Boom.
Congratulations.
Without a doubt. 7 straight years, double-digit sacks. 5 out of 6 years, first-team All-Pro. And he doesn't get hurt. He plays every game. He won Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago. He's going to win it again this year. So that's 2 out of 3 years. He's getting better. I don't think he's reached his ceiling yet, Boom. And right now, if he stopped playing today, he's a Hall of Famer. He has an opportunity to be the greatest defensive player the game has ever seen. And that's up there with Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, some of the greatest game changers we've ever seen, because he plays an impact position and he's getting better and better and better every year. He talked about, can I get to 25? It's doable. He's getting better, Boom. He's 6'5", 270. He's got less body fat than I ever dreamed of having. And his ability to rush the passer has gotten better and better. There's not enough superlatives that I can use about this young man. I think he's the best defensive player in our game, and he's only getting better.
Did you hear what everybody in the division just said when you said he could retire now? Really? Like he's going to retire? And here's the thing, Cleveland's always behind. He has so many less pass rushing opportunities than a team that's up by 10, 14, or 17.
Imagine if he gets a consistent quarterback and consistent offensive play where he can be the closer. Right now, he's the hunter. Imagine if he can become the closer, though. That's when I want to see him.
Of course, they've already clinched their division, the NFC Norris division, and the Lions win that game 19-16. Detroit gets over 500. So here we are. As we do this show, we do not know who's playing who on what day. We don't know, but here are the matchups. Seattle, of course, gets a bye. Packers at Bears, 7-2 for the third time. They split 2 wild games. 49ers at the Eagles, 6-3. They were hoping not to see that, I would think. And 5 Rams at Carolina, 4, where they lost just a few weeks ago. As far as 49, at any rate, I'm checking one thing. At any rate, look, here's Seattle with the bye. It's like America just discovered them the last 2 weeks. Give me credit.
No
I've been
question.
telling you, Boog,
You have.
you
been saying
played for a defense like this. Nothing exactly the same. Mike McDonald, second-year head coach.
Yeah.
I know he'll say it's the players, and it is. He is the defensive counterpart to two of the very best coaches, Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. And the fact that they toe-to-toe and have won this division and have won it with the authority. They've given up the least points in football, with Houston allowed a lot on this day. I think they're the least, and they've scored the second most of anybody. Nobody knows that. They have players. You can look at the stat sheet, for example, the Leonard Williams. What kind of year? What do you mean he had one tackle? He didn't do anything. Baloney. He took up three guys in the middle. They're playing defense with a vengeance. Isn't that what you see?
Boom. It's a defense that starts up front. When you talk about Lawrence and Leonard Williams, they got corners on the outside with Witherspoon and Woolen. They got players everywhere from a defensive standpoint. And to your point, they gave up the fewest points in football. Well, guess what, Boom? They also have the biggest point differential in football, also at plus 191. Think about that. They've scored 191 more points than they've given up. On paper, they're the best team in football. The one question mark they have is at the quarterback position. He's turned the football over 20 times. 17 picks, I think, 3 fumbles. They know that. They play around that. And they play with him. They can run the football. They got a two-headed monster, Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. They have a coach that is, to your point, can match wits with the best offensive minds in the sport. They're the 1 seed for a reason, and they're the team to beat on the NFC side.
Oddly enough, they have a better road record than home, but that is a rough.
His road record is unreal.
On 15-2.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, the 3 years they've made the Super Bowl, they have been the number 1 seed. Again, that's different this year because, look, that whole division, the Rams, I know they're on the road now, but formidable as heck. I would not want to really play Philadelphia because, as we said on the show last week, Booger, I haven't heard a lot from Philly for a few weeks. Let's play some football for 6 weeks. We're defending champs. Maybe it'll work. Yeah, I know there's warts, but Philly, Rams, and Seattle, 3 to the post. The other teams are very capable, starting with San Francisco. But do you see those 3, at least as we start the playoffs in the NFC or wherever it matches up, do you see them ahead of the other 4? I do.
Philly, Rams, Seattle, they can beat you in a number of ways. They can beat you with the quarterbacks pushing the football down the field. Defensively, they can have one of those games where they just shut you out. They can run the football. Both of them have quarterbacks that can make plays. And so I look at teams, once the tournament starts, once we get into the dance, how many different dances can you do? All right, I like the 2 steps, the fox, the waltz. I like them all, Boom. You got to be able to do a lot of different dances. And the 3 teams you mentioned, they can do a multitude of dances, which gives them a lot of different ways they can win.
19-3. Sean no for offense, but they don't have to apologize to his soul. The Denver Broncos are number 1. They have a week off. You got to come to Mile High to beat them, and they're 14-3. So again, we don't know who's playing what day, etc. Broncos with 5. 7 Chargers had 2 Patriots. Interesting. 6 Bills had 3 Jaguars. Josh Allen on Florida's first coast. Really fun game, I think. 5 Texans at the winner of tonight's game. As we do the show, it hasn't even started. Steelers or Ravens will win the division. And the record won't be as good as these teams. But again, you win the division, you will be at home. Either Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson hosting a game. All right, so the Denver Broncos, number 1. We don't mean to throw water on them at all. When you win 14 games, you apologize to nobody. You have a defense that can be suffocating. You have a quarterback that's won games late, and you're at Mile High. Are they the huge favorites in the AFC or just slight because they're home and don't have to go on the road?
Boom, their calling card is their defense. You know, for so long on this side of the ledger in the AFC, we talked about the quarterbacks, you know, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar Jackson may still get in. This year, we're not talking about that. We're talking about teams that have young QBs, but their defense is really good, especially when you start talking about Denver and New England. Can the young quarterbacks make enough plays? Let's talk about Denver specifically. Bo Nix. Is Sean Payton going to take the shackles off at some point? They haven't needed them much. They got this young kid from UCF that's their starting running back now. since Dobbins got hurt. Running the ball could be an issue. How willing is Sean Payton to put the game in Bo Nix's hands with the defense that he's got? They're the number 1 seed, and they earned it. Take nothing away from them. But at some point, they got to open the offense up.
You know what's interesting? We brought up the quarterback's book, to your point, and we talked about it before. The AFC, 3 different categories, all right? We're just listing in order of the seeds, the quarterbacks. Bo Nix, second year, had a playoff game last year. They lost to Buffalo. Where does he go with it? Drake May, certainly in the MVP conversation as well. He should. Unbelievable year. New England, second year. What does he do? But then there are the 2 in the middle, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. We've been there 5 or 6 years. We know they're good. They've seen a lot. Maybe this is their time. And C.J. Stroud, I'm going to put since his 3rd year with the younger.
Yeah.
And then you have Josh Allen, who, of course, with all his pelts, and Lamar and Aaron, the winner of that. So that's the, I don't want to say seniors, they're the ones with the accomplishment with the resumes. So you got a couple with amazing resumes. You got a couple we've been waiting in the wings with Herbert and Lawrence. And then we have the 3 youngsters. I find it fascinating.
I just thought about this, and I'm going to give a shout-out to your old partner, whose seat I sit in now, Tom Jackson. When you talk about Josh Allen, if not now, when? There's no Mahomes. There's no Burrow. We don't know if Lamar's getting in. Josh, if not now, when? At some point, he's got to. If we're going to call him the best quarterback in the game, the most talented guy, he's got to at least get his team to a Super Bowl. And there's no Mahomes in the way. And for years, that's been the roadblock. If not now, when?